Hi, I have been working on my defense of Candace Owens that everybody's attacking for asking who killed her friend, Charlie Kirk, because nobody else seems to be caring. I mean, it's ludicrous the way that everybody, you know, you're attacking TPUSA, you're attacking Erica because because the authorities are not doing its freaking job. So, okay, where am I? That's not what I want. Oh gosh, these things pop up. Okay, so it looks like we are going to be attacking Venezuela pretty soon. They want another war. They can't get it in the Middle East and Europe. They'll get one in South America. So in 1999, I was at the American Embassy. I was living in Bogota. So I went to the American Embassy in Bogota at a presentation that the State Department congressional members were doing for, well, the American ambassador, and then they gave it to the Americans living there. And so the American Women's Club of Bogota, we were all there. And I said, who's that man sitting over there? We never had any men at our meeting. It was David Patterson, Ambassador Patterson's husband. Fast forward many years later in Washington, D.C., when I'm having dinner with her son, not a pleasant conversation. Anyway, and Ambassador is going to have to answer some questions, but I digress. So 1999, they're trying to sell Plan Colombia. And, the spraying, it's not going to do any damage to the livestock, to the people, to the plants, nothing, just the cocoa plants. I'm like, I think they did that with Agent Orange, wasn't it? Yeah, we're not buying that one anymore. So, anyway, at the end of the presentation, I get up and I say, well, it's all very well to get rid of it here, the drug production here, but as long as consumption is rising in the United States and in Europe, the production will just go elsewhere. So what are you doing to comprehensively, or what are you comprehensively doing to attack the rising drug problem and consumption in the North? And the stupid idiot civil servant said to me in front of everybody, what do you care, lady, as long as we get rid of it here? I just bit my tongue. I wanted to say, well, that's the biggest jackass thing I've ever heard come out of mouth of a civil servant, and I'd heard some doozies in my day. So let's listen to the discussion with Carlson with Pierce Morgan. It's really pissing me off.
It's a very broad sword, this narco-terrorism designation. I think that it's being used to conduct some regime change.
Right, so that's the key point here.
I think there's something global happening here, and this is just one part of the chessboard.
Perhaps this is a way to keep the Chinese out of the Caribbean, to keep the Chinese out of Venezuela. You can say you're doing it in order to stop the flow of drugs, even if that's not really the case.
What will the CIA be doing right now in Venezuela?
Say it is.
To effect a coup, if you want it to be quick, everything that's important is going to take place in the capital. You have to control the radio and television stations, you have to surround the presidential palace, and you have to control the major intersections in the city. Once that happens, all the other dominoes begin to fall.
The White House is very clear about why it's ramping up pressure on Venezuela. Drugs, Venezuelan cartels are shipping fentanyl into the United States, they say, with the full complicity of President Maduro. The socialist leader is thereby contributing to a crisis which has killed hundreds of thousands of Americans, justifying a state of war readiness and a series of deadly airstrikes on small Venezuelan boats.
And how did
but not everybody's convinced.
and Maduro get
in
in?
The US is made using Chinese chemicals by cartels in Mexico, from where almost all of it is imported. Well, Ed Calderon is a combat instructor, security consultant, and a cartels expert, and he joins me now. Ed, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you.
What do you make of this? I mean, Donald Trump is accusing Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela, of conducting a narco war, of running a narco terrorist cartel. You're a cartel expert. Is he right?
The connections between his family and the movement of cocaine into the United States has long since been known. 2015 saw two of his nephews basically arrested for some of these issues. The military in Venezuela has been engaging in these activities for years now. It is something that is happening. Cocaine, though, you said fentanyl at the beginning, and you are right. A lot of that product is not coming from Venezuela. It's coming from Mexico. It's coming from overseas, China specifically.
Everybody specializes.
It's a very broad sword, this narco-terrorism designation. I think that it's being used in this case to conduct some regime change.
Right. So that's the key point here, is that many people think it's a cover for regime change aspirations by the US government under Donald Trump. And many people speculate it's because Venezuela has a lot of oil and that you have a socialist leader who they think is there by default. The last election, he should have left, but he's refused to go and so on. And there's also a kind of like an anomaly here where if you were choosing one of the countries in that region as a place to target for import, say, of cocaine or illegal drugs generally, then you would probably choose Colombia, not Venezuela. So why Venezuela?
Leave Colombia alone.
10% of cocaine. These are U.S. government numbers back from 2009. 10% of cocaine coming into the United States was coming from Venezuela. These numbers are now completely impossible to know because of some of the things that are happening on the seaside. The military has long since been known for their association with certain cartels, specifically the Sinaloa cartel, when it was existing back in the day. Chapo Guzman was arrested speaking to members of the military, trying to figure out how to get a close connection. Yes, Colombia should be on that list as well, and I think it might be on that list. I think many countries in South America and North America, that being Mexico, are probably on a list. They're attempting to do something in Venezuela that they might want to replicate in other parts of the continent. I think it's hard to blame the United States as far as how it views the situation in Venezuela. I mean, I'm currently in Sweden, and I've spoken with some people who are refugees of Venezuela here, and they've explained to me how the current government has basically stolen their lands, put in.
Okay. Can't blame the Americans. Oh, Lord, oh Lord. Do not go there.
People that they know.
And I'm not going to play the whole thing. I just wanted to highlight military. Another war. Trump said no more wars. This is getting into what I'm preparing for my next, the deep state. So I did want to this is not just because I'm pissed off.
Family members that they know in positions of power in that region and basically took everything for themselves. They're looking for every single way of making money in that region, and the military is very much involved in some of these activities. So it's a real thing. Now, how big of a threat is versus other parts of the continent and prioritizing, that's where I know people are questioning resources specifically in that region. But the Venezuelan government itself has single-handedly destroyed most of its ability to process a lot of the fuel that it extracts from the ground. So here we are.
Right. So you've got a sort of chaotic regime, probably illegitimate now, and acting with impunity. And that may be a collection of explanations for why the US is considering regime change. Of course, Donald Trump has always...
Okay. So for a minute, I'm like, wait, are you talking about the United States or Venezuela? Okay, that's kind of, y'all get the picture. This is just repeating itself. So as I said, I'm going to be posting another. It's the follow-up to the posting that I did yesterday about Candace and how everybody's attacking Candace when Candace is not the problem. The problem is the FBI. Well, technically it's not the FBI. It's the Utah law enforcement, but as I'm understanding from reports, it's the FBI sticking their little nose in there and not letting the local law enforcement, as incompetent as they are, like, let's just make better worse, not let them do their job. I mean, we are talking about the life of somebody, this kid. I mean, Tyler Robinson, we don't know if he did it. You're going for the death penalty. Even if you want life imprisonment, this is enough. This has got to stop. We have got innocence projects all over the frickin' place. I've been knocking at their doors for I don't know how long. Stop sticking innocent people in jail and letting people, white-collar criminals, run ripshod through the country and get it into $38 trillion debt. Increasing income inequality. We're going through another civil war. We're going towards another civil war on top of the frickin' war in Venezuela. They want the war in Ukraine. And, oh, as if we don't have enough problems of our own, let's go and fight the Israelis' war. You assholes. Okay. I got my in for the moment.